What's going on, folks? How we doing? Time to pour another pint of knowledge here on the rounds. My name, of course, is Glenn. Welcome to it. You're part of the Brewed-There-Drankthat family. We bring you the freshest and tastiest in all the brews each and every episode here on the rounds. For today, it feels pretty close to spring out here, and with it right around the corner, I thought what better way to dive in than with Anchor's Bock beer. So we know Anchor is out of San Francisco. They've been doing it a long time. They introduced the first I.P.A to the American craft beer scene, and this is their Bock offering. Now, the idea of a Bock literally came about, according to myth, in Einbeck, Germany, a little town there where brewers brewed darker, slightly stronger beers to help welcome spring in. Now, the term Bock actually, for general translation purposes, means billy goat. So the idea is these beers had a little extra kick to them, you know, kind of like you might get from a small barnyard animal. So let's dive right in. Lager, and this is my first ever sampling of their Bock. And I got to be honest, when it comes to lagers, I love the shit out of a Bock. Like, I love Bock beers. A good solid Bock, you could just And before I actually get into this, one of the characteristics I tend to notice from Bocks I really enjoy is something to do with the malt build. I almost get kind of this kind of chewy, residual malt factor that it's not... it sounds odd to recognize that as one of the characteristics, but it is a commonality that I actually have grown to love a whole bunch, and it kind of gives you that kind of goat look, you know? So as we can see, she's definitely on the dark side. Brown with highlights of garnet, or crimson, red, whatever. Head seems to be pretty well structured. That looks like it's setting in. So that's a really nice, well structured head. A little darker than normal, more a khaki color per se. This is brewed with 5 different variations of malt. Those of which I can't exactly name right now. Now, for your hop varietals, you've only got 2 hop varietals. So you've got glacier hops and nugget hops, I believe. Now, malt-driven, obviously, lager. And what you're getting off the nose is, like, delightfully malty, earthy funk. Like, it's not an over-the-top malt characteristic, but you almost get a little caramel, a little coffee, not so much on the coffee, more maybe like a rolled oat kind of, but there's something funky there too. Like, there's a little bit of funk, and I mean, in some instances you would venture a guess at saying yeast, because yeast can impart those kind of funk characteristics, but they didn't draw any highlight to the yeast strain they used, so, but just a delightful bouquet. Really, really nice. That's fantastic. Nice carbonation to it. I think carbonation is needed in a beer of this magnitude. It's only 5.5% alcohol by volume, but in terms of like your body, especially in terms of appearance, this tends to set people into that mind state that they're drinking a heavier beer. And, you know, whether you call it placebo or not, it can still have an effect. But this has got, in terms of your mouthfeel, it's got a weight to it. Now that higher level of carbonation actually allows a counterpoint to that weight in your malt build, which is really, really delightful. You almost get like a touch of lightly sour bitter, like right at the beginning, and then a malt sweetness kind of takes over with a kind of like a bubbly addition of a light hop, and then you kind of get you mostly get residual malt. There is a little bit of lingering hop bitterness there, but really, really nice. And again, caramel, wheat, toffee. So, I mean, much more robust flavors, like an actual beer, you know. Really, really well done. And it's heavy in flavor, but it clears the palate really nicely. That's nice, man. So a 6-pack ought to run you in the neighborhood of $10, thereabouts, 9. I'm trying to remember. But I would get out there. I mean, Anchor does some fantastic work, and what they've contributed to the craft beer community is really quite an amazing thing. I actually saw a snippet of their video the other day that commemorated the 40th year of a guy working there, and he started way, way back in the day, and it was like a part-time gig, you know, making ends meet, living life kind of a thing, and now he like sits around and says like, I've been with Anchor longer than I haven't been with him. Like, he started when he was like, you know, not even 20 years old. He's been there for like 40 years. So, really, really cool stuff, cool company. Get out there, buy a sixer. Another pint of knowledge has been poured here on the rounds, guys. We'll see you over our next pint. You have a good one.